How are you? If you hear any banging in the background, that would be Coach Yvonne making noise. How are you? This is Alive today. So I will talk to you, my darlings, today about how we lower our value without really knowing that we're doing it. Okay, these are surprising ways that we lower our value and don't even know that we're doing it. And I want to just run through that with you today. Hopefully take some questions. Hello and welcome, everybody. I am currently in Barcelona, as everybody else would say it, but Barcelona as the Spanish would say it. I am in Barcelona, and I know you're enjoying my stories. You are watching my adventures, but I'm terrible at documenting things. And actually, I got scammed because I was sun chasing. And my son was like, oh, it's going to be warm in Barcelona, Mom. And it's freezing. So you are going to have me I'm in my current bedroom. This is a very interesting architecture. Today we're in my bedroom because I'm covered up and I'm keeping warm. And it's that or nothing. Okay, you get what you're given. How are you, my darlings? Good to see you. Okay, so let's talk about how we lower our value without being aware. I did a reel on this, and so I'm just really expanding on this idea. Okay, let's see if we can fix this light. Okay, so let's get started. When a man meets you, usually quite quickly, he figures out, like I said in one of my other reels, what category is going to put you in. That's really to do with your aura. That has to do with the way that you think and feel. That's to do with your energy signature. That's how you show up in the world. So you might be super, super attractive, but after a few conversations, a man pretty much knows what he wants to do with you. He pretty much knows. And I had a girl on one of them saying, I am a dream girl. I don't care what anybody says. Well, you better care, because you don't get to say whether you're a dream girl or not. Just like a man doesn't get to say he's like a quality guy or not, right? We're the ones that decide whether we think he's quality or not, all right? So, however, no matter how much you show up as a high value black swan, for some guy, you'll never be his dream girl. Maybe because he needs his dream girl to be more street, or he needs his dream girl to be more ghetto, or he needs his dream girl to be more posh, or he needs his dream girl to be whatever. Okay, so you are never really going to know whose dream girl you are going to be, but you can definitely prepare yourself to show up as a potential dream girl in terms of a woman that is hitting those 10 out of 10 vibes in terms of your manner, the way you deport yourself, the way you comport yourself, the way you move in the world, that just says, I'm elite. Okay, I love me, I love the world. There is a way that you can show up in the world in such a way that, okay, even if you're not his particular dream girl, you're still a high class lady. You're still a kind of woman that's a complete catch. Okay, so the little things that we do, and one of the things that I've also noticed in the comments is the kind of massive entitlement, right? If he's gonna put me in a category, I don't want to know. A lot of these things are just juvenile, okay? Thinking that we decide we are valuable on the basis of just arbitrarily, and then insisting that the rest of the world must see it that way, is juvenile. Okay, that's like applying for a job as a pilot. You don't have any skills or qualifications to fly, but you think you're special. And you should just be let into the cockpit, okay? I truly believe that it's important to have a sense of intrinsic value, divine value, knowing that you are a child of God and that your value is just priceless. But you also have to understand that when you're in the marketplace looking for a partner, the person you're looking for is the one that determines whether that you are being valuable or not. And you decide whether you're being valuable based on your investment in the craftsmanship of your character, of your person, you have to qualify yourself and be qualified, and then know, okay, this is where I am qualified. This is where I have invested a lot of time, attention, and love into myself. Therefore, I know based on my investment, what I'm worthy of, not just because I think it. Okay, you can't just do, well, I just, the world must just revolve around me. Okay, because I'm a girl and I said so, and my mom said so, and my sister said so. Okay, there is a price to pay for everything. There is everything in this world has a price to pay. If you want a high caliber man, there is a way that you show up in the world, and that will cost you some time, attention, effort. It will cost you a little bit of what we're doing right here, right now. Okay. So let's talk about some of the things that are going to make us lower our value. This is so common, it's actually ridiculous. To a high value, masculine energy man, not all men in general, but to a high value, high status, high quality, highly sought out, a man of integrity, a man who's going somewhere, a man who is dating with intention. The one thing that will make as beautiful as you are and as lovely as you are and as effervescent as you are, darling, that will lower your value is being attention seeking. What does that look like? It looks like being on the internet with your bits out, your tits are out, your bits are out, and your bottom is facing the camera with one of these. Okay. You are always posting thirst traps. Okay, maybe you're not even online. You're going out to an evening. Everything is spilling out of your clothes. Everything about you says, can everybody just look at me, please? Everybody. Now listen, there are ways of getting attention in elegant ways. When you're dressed beautifully and you look nice, people are going to give you attention. But this desire, when a man picks up that this woman just needs attention from everyone, like this woman cannot survive without attention. He's thinking, okay, we're going to be potentially in a relationship and she's just going to be out here giving an Instagram baddie from morning. Okay. The reality is Instagram baddies are good for men to go and, help themselves when they are lonely. But in reality, a high quality man wants a sense that his wife and his woman and his girlfriend is not easily accessible. That there's something about her that has a sense of dignity, elegance. Like you're going to see pictures of her. She's going to be looking beautiful. She's going to be looking put together. She's always going to be looking stylish and elegant. But you're never going to see certain things, these bikini shots that are just random, that are just everywhere. We do this so much, ladies, that it's actually really ridiculous. The amount of, I see your comments and I appreciate your comments, but I always look at some of your profile pictures, and some of you are wearing bikinis and you got your behinds in the camera. You've got these weird positions. And I understand that some of you are kind of, touting the internet for OnlyFans clients. Okay, but at the end of the day, we don't know the difference anymore, right? Because we want attention so bad. And sometimes I'm looking at some of these posts and I'm thinking, okay, this post was probably to get some guy's attention, one particular guy's attention, but we all have to suffer. We all have to endure this. I'm going to tell you right now, without apology, that I don't ascribe to, I don't recommend, and I do not validate skimpy, just everything out behavior in a woman. I don't think it's elegant. I think it invites the kind of attention that we eventually end up getting hurt by. And I know that if that offends you, I'm so sorry, but it is what it is. Because if you are going to look at anyone who is classy, anyone who's elegant, royalty is always covered up, right? You will never see Prince William and Kate showing bits and pieces. You will never see any kind of royalty. The higher you go in class and in elegance and in sophistication, the more you're going to be covered up. Does that mean that you're not going to be sexy? Does that mean that you're not going to have something that is elegant and body fitting, or that you never ever have cleavage out? No. But by and large, you are a woman that is mysterious. You're a woman that keeps herself together, that you have this personal style that says, I am important, okay? Because let me tell you something. Being sexy, that's cheap. Coming across important as somebody who should be listened to, heard, presenting yourself with some degree of self-love and self-respect is going to get you a long way. And let me tell you something. Once you are the kind of girl who leads with your tits and bits, your bum is out, your skin is out, everything is out here on these streets. Don't complain when you are the hit and quit girl. Don't complain when you are the fetish. Don't complain, because you have put yourself in that category. Now, I'm not a feminist. I'm not going to be out here doing all these men have to change because we said so, right? I'm a woman that empowers women to win in the game of love. If you want to win in the game of love, you want to be here. But if you want a feminist, then you might have to look on the internet, okay? Because what matters to me is that we create healthy relationships. And just like anything of value, whether you're Bentley or a Ford or whatever you categorize yourself as, if it's of value, it's behind a glass wall, right? If it's something's of value, it is concealed. We know that when we go to used car salespeople, the cars are everywhere, outside, inside. But we know that when we go to Bentley, when we go to high-end places, everything is covered. We know that when we are buying diamonds of high value, it's behind a paywall. There's a wall behind it. We know that anything in this world worth holding to high value has a wall, is hidden, is behind. The diamonds that we see on the streets, those are not the highest diamonds. The highest diamonds are in a vault in the back of Beyond, and they're not even set in a ring. They're not even set on an earring. You literally get the diamond in its raw form, and you get to look at it with a mic, and you have to make an appointment. So we know that anything of value is concealed. It is covered. It is not easily accessible. And men of high value and high quality, they want to feel like they have something that other men don't have access to. They want to feel like, geez, I'm with a woman that has made it so hard for other men to get her that I have the prize. Like, this woman, she is so elegant, she's so beautiful, she's so amazing, she's so intelligent, she's so effervescent. But boy, oh boy, she's not easy to just come and talk to. Like, you have to have guts, you have to have your life together, you've got to have your situation together to talk to her. So if I win her, if I put in the work and I win this woman, I'm going to have access to what other men have never seen. I'm going to see her behind. I'm going to see everything, okay? And other men are going to know that I get to see what's underneath all these clothes and I'm going to feel like a king because only I have access. Only I put in the work, and I must be a really high quality man to have been able to get this level of access. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the truth. So when we're out here on Instagram, in the streets, tits out, bits out, it's all we can do not to see your uterus, okay? The dress you're wearing makes us know that you're not wearing any underwear because the way it's, the side is got some, so we know you're not wearing any underwear, okay? And we're going for vixen, and we're going for it's, I'm here. There's no mystery to you. You're boring. I'm going to give you the secret. What do really, really men love? The colletage. That's really sexy to them. We don't need to go all the way down. That's really sexy. What do men really love to see? That is elegant. Your shape, your body shape. You can be covered from here to the top, but if you can show them some body shape, that's nice, okay? That's elegant enough. That's sexy enough. That's enough to say, do you want to unwrap this one day if you're a really, really good boy, okay? But we lower our value when we show it all out. We're out here. We're out here. We're out here. You lower your value. And I don't care what anybody says. Will you get a lot of attention? Yes. But attention is not intention. Do you want a full relationship? Do you want to be in a loving, healthy relationship that is respectful, where your man respects you and cares about what you think about him and his behavior? Then present like one. Present like you respect yourself. And we have been sold this idea, this thirsty idea, that if we just come out and let it show and let it flow, let everybody say, yo, attention-seeking behavior is off-putting, and it attracts mosquitoes, you know. Low-value men, they love all that. Low-value men will gather like flies, gather to poop. Okay, they gather. They gather around attention-seeking women. And not only does that lower your value in the eyes of a quality man, you're too accessible. There's no mystery. Everybody has seen what I'm going to invest for. I'm not going to invest into something everybody has seen. No one is going to go and buy a diamond for 10 million that everyone in the streets has been able to put on and do, you know, that's nice. No one's buying that. No one is buying anything that has been accessed to the fullest measure. You must conduct yourself and show yourself as a kind of woman that requires, who treats herself like access is not cheap and it's not free. And when that happens, you're going to have fewer suitors, because fewer men can actually show up, but they're going to be high quality suitors. Men who are ready to step forward with investment, because they understand that you're a Bentley. They understand that you're a Rolls Royce. They understand that you are the diamond in the back of the safe in the vault. And the problem is we don't want to do that, because we have been conditioned and scripted to believe that attention is attraction. It's not. Attention is not attraction. Attention just means you manage to do something for my eyes to stop and look. And if I'm thirsty, I'm going to go and see if I can get a piece. Attention is not the indicator of attraction. Just because you get attention everywhere you go because of the way that you present, and because you're loud, and because you're the girl in the middle of the dance floor winding up your waist and acting like you're the only one who can wind up your waist, I'm going to just let you know that there are whole continents where we wind up our waist and it ain't nothing but a chicken wing, okay? It ain't a thing. I'm telling you. You want to go to Southern Africa, you want to go to certain parts of Africa, we just wind up our waist. You go to Jamaica, women be winding up their, it's not a big thing. But for you, and the reason we don't do it when we're out and about is not because we can't do it, it's because we respect ourselves. But you're behind, you're the girl who gonna get drunk, dance on the tables, okay, and let the whole world know that you're here. No. Your value goes down. Nobody wants that. And whoever wants that is looking for something quick, something disposable, something where they don't have to. And I'm so sorry, but somebody sold you a lie. Somebody sold you a lie. And then, of course, we have the church girls on the other hand, where they look like friggin' Mormons and nuns, right? So we never had a balance. The balance is in being sexy and modest and blending them together and creating elegance and sophistication, okay? Attention-seeking behavior, being loud, everybody must see you. That lowers your value. Well, in the eyes of a man who we all want to be with, a man who's actually worth being with, okay? And so we have to address this desire, this lie that when I get a man's attention, men want me. No, they don't want you. They don't want to keep you. I don't know how to put it to you, because if you get attention, if you get your thrills from attention, and these men are coming at you, and you think to yourself, oh, they want me. They don't want you. You have to understand that men's sexuality works very different from female sexuality. We are going to give our attention to a man that we want. We only give our attention to men that we want. I'm not even going to give you my time or my attention unless I like you. It's not that way with men. Men can give you the attention because they want to get laid. They can give you the attention because they want to access your body. They can give you attention because they want to access some emotional thing, or that they might want from you particularly. But that doesn't mean for a man he wants you. A man giving you attention is cheap. That's like it's cheap. You don't want to be the girl who lives for attention. If you have any attention-seeking behaviors, any attention-seeking ways, your Instagram looks like a thirst trap. We are seeing your bottom in the streets. Your bottom is your profile picture. we go to your profile and it's just bottom and tits. You are lowering your value, and you need to really rethink your whole brand for 2025. And if you need help rethinking your brand for 2025, you can go ahead and book a complimentary call and speak to one of the coaches, or get yourself on the waiting list for House of Swans, and then perhaps we may help you with your brand. But some of us need a massive rebrand, because inside you're good women. Inside you're smart women. Inside you are together. I know that because I read your comments. I know that because you're in my DMs. I have the most beautiful conversations with a lot of you ladies in my DMs, and I think, what a lovely girl, but why is your behind in the camera? Why is that your profile picture? Why you be like this? Why? Who are you offering this to? Because you're misrepresenting yourself. Because let me tell you something. The men, they're not going to dig any deeper to figure out if you're a good woman with good morals, with a good heart. I know you're doing that because you want attention. You are enough. I want to tell you this, you are enough. You are enough. The front of you, in an elegant number, even jeans and a t-shirt. If you're a casual girl, you don't have to be Mama Swan. You don't have to be me. Jeans and a t-shirt, cover it up. Put something that suits you. Jeans that show your shape and that look good, and face the camera. Leave some things to mystery. Let it be a mystery. Let a man have to talk to you, charm you, invest in you, to even see what it looks like. Let him work for it. Do you not feel you're worthy? Or do we just have to compete to just let them know, look what I'm working with? Because it's not something men value in the long term. It's not what they value when it comes to a mate that they're going to keep. It's not something that they value. He wants to be with a woman that his friends are like, wow, how did you get her? And the way she moves in his circle is just brings him more status. Makes his friends think, wow. Not his friends looking at you and thinking, I guess if I could speak to her around the corner, she might give me some as well. Because some of us present that way. We're not that way, but we present that way. And it's time for you to bring your brand in. Okay? It's time for you to really sit down with yourself and say, who am I? And how am I showing up? Because some of us are good, wholesome women that would give a man such a wonderful wife experience, who can really be girlfriend material. Some of us, especially the really crazy attention-seeking ones that I've spoken to, beautiful on the inside, women that a man can trust, women that are loyal, but we just insist on presenting the way we've been told to present, the way that culture has told us to present, the way that, it's kind of, no, be the exception. Be that girl that a man has to explore, that has intrigue. Be that girl. And I tell you what, you won't have to negotiate small things like dates and being dated properly and being treated with respect. They're just some things that me and my swans never have to negotiate. I've never had to negotiate whether a man treats me with respect, because I present as the kind of woman you respect or don't talk to me. In fact, they're even intimidated to talk to me. Unless you know you are going to be respectful and come through with high quality investments, they're not going to talk to me. That's how you should be, because I don't actually need attention. I need intention. I have high standards for the person that I will and do call partner or boyfriend. I don't need attention. I need intention. What are your intentions? What is it that you want? Are you in alignment with my assignment, my purpose, my being, my soul? So I don't need attention. You got to be that girl. If you are a swan, if you identify as a swan, that's the only way that you get to think. But if you want to be a duckling or a chicken, go ahead. Because a lot of the way we're presenting, that's chicken behavior. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Give me attention, give me attention, give me attention. You don't need attention. You are enough. You need intention. You want to start whittling away a lot of this attention you're getting and start to narrow down to who is coming with intention. Because you, baby girl, you have a purpose. You have a destiny calling. You have something that God has for your life. And you're whittling away. You're being distracted by a lot of unnecessary, foolish suitors who got nothing but game and heartbreak for you. So we need to rein in this need for attention so that we can get a man with intention. And his intention will be to take care of us, to see us, to hear us. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing more beautiful than having that one man who is really high quality, who's really devoted to you, who sees you, who hears you, who understands you. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like what that brings to the feminine soul. But you're never going to get that if you need attention from everybody in every room at all times. And part B to that is always seeking his attention. Always seeking his attention, doing things to get his attention, starting little fights to get his attention, poking at him to get his attention, flirting with other guys to get his attention. You got to be done with that too. And that's for the girls in relationships. You're in a relationship. You're dating somebody. You've been dating a while. You're in a relationship. But you are poking and you are doing little things because you must get his attention. Lower your value. You lower your value. You don't need to get your man's attention. If you are showing up as the woman that you are in your purpose, you're pursuing your own destiny, you have your own things. His attention is yours 24/7. You can call that man, and no matter what he's doing, he's going to put down the phone. He's going to call you because his queen is calling. Because his queen only calls when she really has something that she needs from him. And he is privileged to be of service to you. Because you don't live your life waiting for him to call. I know this sounds strange, some of your ears, but I am telling you, there is a man out there when the phone rings and your name is on it, he will stop everything for you. But that guy, he's not interested in a girl that creates drama to get a bit of attention. Drama here, drama there. Every day there's drama. So we have to elevate and embody the spirit of the black swan. You know, when I love swans, I love swans, I'm obsessed with them. Go and watch them move on the water. They are regal and they're elegant. You don't even see them sweat. They have their necks up high and they know where they're going. These are the most elegant, most exquisite birds I've ever seen. Be that girl. Be the girl that mesmerizes. And that all is about how you think and how you feel about yourself. We need to begin to change our whole way of looking at the world because we are an elite group of women. And when you're an elite group of any individual, you're very special and you attract only the best. And let me tell you something. I have clients that are very wealthy and that are male clients that are very wealthy and do very well for themselves. They're struggling to find quality women. And they come to me because they're like, Chingy, I can get laid, but I'm really looking for a black swan. What are they talking about? What I'm telling you. They're talking about what I'm telling you about. They don't want a girl that's easy, cheap, accessible. They don't want a woman that's not going to understand that he's got the world to conquer. Some of these girls, he hasn't called me, he hasn't texted me, if you're going to be with a man of high quality and high status and high worth, and I'm not talking about money, right? I'm talking about a man who is going somewhere, a man who's driven, a man with a vision, a purpose, a man who's worth having. You can't be needing attention every 2 minutes. You can't be checking your phone every 2 minutes. Has he called? You are out of alignment. You're out of alignment. Okay, so if we're that girl and we're on the phone, checking, has he called? There's work to do, baby. There's some high value work to do with you. We need to elevate you. We need to bring you into your goddess spirit and energy. We need to bring you into your purpose. We need to elevate you into your feminine energy because the feminine is concerned with herself. The feminine is concerned. She's inward looking. I'm not saying that we can't miss a man. I'm not saying that we can't crave a man. I'm saying that if your energy is always outside of yourself, going outside of yourself, pursuing outside of yourself, you are in your masculine, because the masculine is always outside of, is outward. The feminine is inward. Can you find a place of rest from within yourself? And if you can't, that's okay, because I can help you. We can help you. But you got to want the help, okay? You've got to want the help, whether you get the help through the House of Swans, whether you get the help through one-to-one coaching or through the courses. You've got to want the help. But I'm telling you right now that if you're the kind of woman that needs, I'm so sorry, I've got a bit of a runny nose, that needs a man to, I'm going to have to use this because I don't have any tissue. That's how cold it is here in Barcelona. I am freezing and the heating is on, but it is what it is. Apologies. Right? So let's work on that, because 2025 is knocking. Okay, we're in December now, and none of us are settling. We're not settling for the losers. No. We're not settling for the losers, and we're not here trying to convert the losers to make them winners, because I'm going to tell you why. There's a whole bunch of winners waiting to meet you. There's a whole bunch of men who are working on themselves, who have the money, who live are correct, who are going somewhere, who love God, who are just ready. They're waiting to meet you. So we're not trying to be wasting time with losers, trying to convince some loser to come up higher. No, we are going to challenge ourselves in 2025 to rebrand and to level up some more internally and externally. That's why we have a style concierge here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. We've got our coach Unique, who is the best stylist I know, who can help level up your game, who can black swanify you, as she says. She was saying to one of the other clients, this is, one of my clients messaged me and said, Coach Unique has black swanified me. And she's like, that's a real thing. I was like, yeah, that's Coach Unique. She makes up stories, she makes up phrases. But absolutely, we need to rebrand completely. We need to rebrand, and we need to educate you, because there are men waiting. I promise you that there are men out here who would rather be single and on their purpose than deal with what is available in the women's market. And I've got to be honest, when I'm coaching my guys and they are showing me what is out here in these streets when it comes to women, I am so glad I exist and that this community exists. Because honestly, I know we think us girls are the victims to men, but honestly, for a man of a certain caliber, there's a real struggle. There is. And even I have a real struggle. I have a real struggle. Because some of you in the dating apps, some of us girls, we be out here, bottoms in the, and then some of us, we're elegant on the outside, but we're out here, we're not, I was gonna say crazy, but we haven't dealt with our trauma, okay? We haven't handled our business. We go off in 2 seconds. We fire off like a we fire off like a firecracker, one small thing and we're at him, right? We have no composure. We just go with how we feel. So I'm saying to you, they're waiting, they're looking. All we have to do is bring you out of that low value shadow and out of that foolishness and bring you into the light, and they will find you. Because I tell you something, there are men out here who are marriage ready. They're ready for a wife. They are ready for a wife. And I've got to be able to present you. Okay? Number 2, approval-seeking behavior. This is when you can't seem to have a thought and a mind and a belief system that is yours. A belief system that you have formulated because it's true to your convictions. We think that being agreeable is agreeing with everything he says. But a man wants a woman who has her own thought. I cannot tell you how many men actually just enjoy talking to me. And I'm not saying because I'm the perfect woman, but because I'm very convinced and convicted and fully persuaded about the things I'm persuaded about. But I also have a student's heart. I'm also willing to learn. But I don't acquiesce my thoughts and my feelings and what I think about the world. I don't acquiesce that without you having to prove to me that your thought process has been thought through. And so many of us want to come across as agreeable. Yeah, I'll be easy because I'll just go along with everything you say. I'm going to go along with everything you want, so choose me. You don't present as a challenge. If you're dealing with a man who has high smiley baby, I'll get back to you in a minute. If you're dealing with a man who is going somewhere, a man with ambition, a man with purpose, a man of that stature, he wants a co-pilot. He wants somebody he can come home to and run some ideas through, and he knows that she is competent and capable, and that she is going to elegantly and sophisticatedly and in a high value feminine way direct and help shape his worldview or his perspective on whatever the situation is, whether it's business, and that's not to say that you got to know everything about everything, but you've got to have your convictions about life. There's some things that he needs to know. I need to run this by her because she's going to be able to give me some ideas. So I had this partner once who was running a business, and it wasn't fitness, and I don't know anything about fitness except I'm trying to be fit. Okay. But he was talking about a deal that he was trying to make, and he didn't quite know how to price it. And so I remember him saying, oh, my cousin said to me, speak to Chengi about it. And that was really flattering. But I realized something, that even though I was not able to give him the details because I don't know his industry, I was able to give him a framework, a way of looking at the situation that was just like boom, and he was able to move forward. You have to be able to do that. That doesn't mean it has to be in business. It could be in anything, but there must be something. Obviously I'm in business, so that was something that was easier for me to do, but there must be a sense of, I am my own person. I know what I have learned. I know who I am. I know what I believe. And to you, my darling, smiley baby, you can go and get the Breakup Clinic, okay? For that, and I believe it's Cyber Week, so you can still get your 60% off. So you can go to the website and get yourself the Breakup Clinic. Is going to change your life. Okay. So having a real sense of who you are. If a man feels like he can move you so easily, so quickly into compliance, and you're going to surrender and abandon whatever position you hold. Now, we've got to be careful that it's not about knocking heads and locking horns with a man about what we believe in order to make a point that I know who I am. But it's really about knowing who you are at a level where some things are just not up for negotiation. Some things are truly a conviction that is based on having really thought about it, having really navigated that space. You're not just rabbiting off feminist things or whatever you heard on the internet, but you don't have any real core belief that holds that and anchors that, and why that is important to you. Why is it important to you as a woman? I was having a conversation with a colleague, and that conversation has been going on a while. I'm just going to check something because I think I might have a meeting pending. Okay, I got time. That conversation has been going on for a while, and I was explaining to him why I don't accept certain dates and why I accept other dates. And we were able to, we kind of went back and forth. But what he was able to realize is that I have a system of beliefs and thoughts and understandings and ideals around why I do the things that I do. So whether or not he accepts it or not, whether he thinks whether he approves of it or not, doesn't matter. But he respects the fact that I have a reason for believing that. He respects that I have a system of thought around that. He respects that I have experience around that. He respects that I have results around that. This is how you should be as we level up for 2025. Okay, this is how we elevate ourselves. But if we don't know who we are, if we don't know what we love, if we don't know what makes us who we are, why are you the way that you are? Why do you move in the world the way you move in the world? Why? Is it because that's how we do it in our family? Is it that's how we do it in our culture? But why do you? Because if you don't know, then any wind can blow. And guess what? If a man of quality and value and status is going to be with you, then you can be persuaded to betray him. You can be talked into leaving him by some random friend who's jealous about you. You have to hold your sense of self. And we don't need to fight about it. We can have an honest, open conversation. And I'm willing to hear you. And I'm willing to adjust my position if I feel like what you're adding is going to make me even better, even more accurate. I'm still willing to be teachable. I'm willing to be agreeable in many things. You know, the amount of things I don't want to think about or make decisions about in a relationship will astound you. But at the end of the day, you lower your value when you show up in the world without a sense of self. You lower your value when you show up in the world without a clear idea of who you are. So we need to stop seeking approval for who we want to be and who we are. You are who you are. You are who you are because you've been through what you've been through. You've overcome what you've overcome. You've seen what you have seen. You can't unsee what you've seen. And you've learned what you have learned. And you are still in a process of learning. But at least have something about you that is just not readily up for compromise. We don't need to fight about it. We don't need to disrespect each other about it. But have something about you that is just not up for compromise. And so many of us think that if we just go with the flow, Miss Go with the Flow becomes Miss Placeholder. Miss Go with the Flow becomes Miss Hit It and Quit It. Oh yeah, the dream girl, she challenges her man, but she's not challenging to him. She's not a big challenge where every time he opens his mouth, but she challenges him. She calls him higher. She makes him better. She asks him and calls him and invites him to consider another way of seeing things, another way of being, another way of growing. Because men need that. They need that challenge. They need that feeling that when I'm with this woman, I get better and better and better. I get better in the way that I think. I get better in the way that I see the world. This helps if you read books. For those of you who do not have a habit of reading, I encourage you to get into the habit of reading. Get into the habit of personal development. Get into the habit of reading. Reading is the best thing you can ever do to expand your mind, to bring new context, new perspective. Some of us scroll way too much when we should be reading. Read about money, read about life, read about dreams, read about anything, and then you will get expansion. Because in 2025, we want expansion. Because the men I am coaching right now, the men that are in my Black Swan world, they're looking for women they can have good conversations with. You don't have to be an academic. I'm not an academic. But you can be somebody who is intellectual. You can be intellectual without being an academic, right? A woman who can hold a conversation and bring certain perspectives to a conversation. And some of us just don't bring that. And the moment a man recognizes that, then he knows, I'm going to have to carry this woman. I'm going to have to carry her intellectually. I'm going to have to carry her through life. I'm going to have to provide financially. I'm going to have to provide all the ideas. I'm going to have to provide all of the bits. And guess what? Weak men, they don't want this. Weak men are never going to support me telling you this because they want you as stupid and as self-abandoning as a woman can get. They're not going to want you to be this woman. But the men I'm talking about, the ones that are waiting for you up there, who are waiting, who have done their work, who are doing their work, who are ready to be whatever. These guys are ready for that woman. They want that woman. They want to be captivated. Your date you should have to be calling me and saying, Mama Swan, I'm so sorry I ended up on a 3-hour date or 2-hour date because we were having such riveting conversations. Talking, I don't care what it's about. Art. I don't care if it's about wine. I don't care if it's, but know something, love something, be something, have something that is more than the size of your behind or the size of your chest or how pretty your face is. Next one. Allowing ourselves to be guilt-tripped out of our boundaries. You said, I didn't say, you said you were not going to sleep with a man until you had a certain type of commitment. You said, I didn't say. But because you're so afraid to lose him, because he's triggering your attachment style, all of a sudden you're changing the game. When you find yourself doing that, sweetie, you're lowering your value. You're not winning the man. You're not winning the man. You told yourself, and even if he doesn't know, even if you never told him, I'm not gonna be intimate until we are married or engaged. Maybe you never told him. A man knows when you're compromising yourself. He knows that you weren't ready today. He knows that you weren't ready to give him that. And that could be anything. Doesn't have to be intimacy. You weren't ready to offer that. You weren't ready to allow that. But you did it because you think he's the prize. You think that getting him is going to make you whole. You think that allowing him to overstep your boundaries is going to make you more valuable to him. No, honey, it lowers your value. There is nothing a man respects more than a woman with her boundaries and sticks to them. Like I said in today's reel, you want a man's love, chase his respect. You want a man to absolutely revere you and adore you, pursue his respect. Do the things that men respect, because guess what? Respect is love to a man. And if you move and act in such a way where I respect myself, I've set a boundary. The boundary is the boundary. That's what's up. That's what's up. And he knows you are not even trying to compromise. You're going to get that man's respect. But the moment you start to compromise, well, maybe if I just gave a concession because he's really like taking us to Mexico or to London or whatever your desired destination is, maybe I can make a concession. Or maybe he makes you feel bad. He makes you feel bad for saying no, and I really needed that, or whatever the story is, and you think, oh wait, because I feel bad, I'm going to. No. You lower your value. You go from dream girl to placeholder. And this is how so many of us find ourselves in placeholder, because there's really nothing about us that we stand on business over. There's nothing that we stand upon our square and say, well, no, I'm standing on business. I said what I said, and we don't need to fight about it, and I don't have to be rude, and I don't have to be disrespectful. But everything about my posture, everything about what I represent, everything about my energy tells you that we're not negotiating this space. We're not negotiating this particular part of the deal. The moment you can be moved through guilt, shame, fear, seduction, sweet talk, you've lowered your value. And I know some of us are dealing with so much anxiety. We're dealing with, we've been abandoned. We have been abused. We have been let down. We have been disappointed. And instead of going and pursuing our healing, we have gone ahead and pursued more. I'm going to find somebody who will accept me. I'm going to find somebody who will. And we don't understand that we're bleeding. We're bleeding all over ourselves, our clothes, and on whoever comes near. Because I want to see a world where healing becomes a non-negotiable for every man and woman. I work for a world. I strive for a world. I have dedicated my life to a world and to breeding a certain type of woman and man who prioritizes the healing and doesn't think to themselves, oh, I'll just find somebody who will accept me the way I am. And I get all of that BS in the comments from ducks and chickens. If he really loves you, he's gonna accept you for who you are. If he really, no, you're messed up. You're messy. You are a mess, and nobody should accept you for a relationship the way you are. No. Be better, do better, heal, come out and emerge as the black swan that you are. Heal your wounds, heal your stuff. Nobody should have to deal with your stuff. Nobody should have to deal with your attitude. Nobody should have to deal with your... No. As pretty as you are, as beautiful as you are, internally you are a mess. I remember speaking to this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. And to be honest with you, I think all my swans are beautiful. And I'm not just saying that for some reason. You're all just so beautiful. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm talking to this girl and she's stunning, beautiful. I mean, everything about her is just wow. And I'm looking at her, I'm thinking, what a beautiful young lady. She's in her 20s, stunning. She starts to tell me how she behaves in relationships. And I said to her, no one's going to marry you. I mean, she was taken aback, like, what? I said to her, no one's going to marry you, sweetheart. But because you were so beautiful, they will date you. They might even spoil you. They might even buy you things. They might even fly you out. They might even do all these amazing things for you. But not one of them will marry you. Because you are too broken. This girl, lovely, sweet, feminine on the outside, but she exploded at the tiniest things. And I actually met her through her boyfriend, who said, please, can you have a word? Because he really wanted to marry her. He was preparing to marry her, but he was just not coping. And I said to her, he wants to, but he won't. Because he's not safe around you. His heart is not safe around you. His spirit is not safe around you. You are a freaking nightmare. That's what happens when you come to the Black Swan Relationship Academy, by the way. We just tell you the truth, okay? So if you're allergic to the truth and if you're allergic to honesty, this is probably not the right place for you, okay? If you get on a call with any of my coaches, we're just going to call it like it is. Because we're here to help you, not to break you. But unless we can tell you, hey, baby girl, you actually have this problem, we can't help you. We're not going to dance around the situation. And she was like, oh. And I explained to her why. I was like, because the wounds you didn't deal with from your dad, you're making this man pay. Because we do a whole history on you. We don't just talk because we do a whole history on you. If you get on that free call, if you get on that complimentary call, if you work with my coaches, you work with me, we're going to do a dig. We're going to dig because we want to see why you are the way that you are. And we're going to show you why you're the way that you are. And she was able to see why she was the way that she is. And I said to her, okay, this is what do we do about it? What do I do about it? Because she could see what I was saying was right because I showed her. They're going to run through you. Men will run through you. Because I knew the guy that she was dating was a high quality man. I knew it. I knew him. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Okay, this is what you're going to do. Guess what she did? Oh, send me an email. I can't afford it. Blah, blah, blah. Next thing I see, she's on holiday. Why? Because she holds a fundamental belief, like so many of us, fundamental beliefs that we need to disrupt and get rid of. That if he loves me, he'll choose me the way that I am. No. Because there are men out here who love themselves. I hate to break it to you because a lot of us are dealing with losers. So many of us are dealing with time wasters, losers, chances, idiots. That we don't actually realize that there's a whole other world. There's a whole other curtain when you peel it back of men who are actually working on themselves. Men who are actually going to therapy. Men who have a goal. Men who have a sense of self. Men who love themselves. Men who actually have the world to give to a woman, but they're not going to give it to any woman. Those men exist. I deal with them all the time. I meet them all the time. But as far as she's concerned, honey, the ones that will accept you broken, busted, and disgusted, the ones that will accept you with all of your wounds, all of the guilt and shame and fear that runs your life. And I want to say this to you so that you don't think Mama's One thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. Because I kind of do. But I'm also realistic about myself. I realized recently, since I've started my travels around Europe and around the world, how afraid I was. I was saying to my coaches, I didn't realize that for the last 3 years, I was sitting in a cave of fear. I was so afraid. I was afraid, so afraid. Even though I was talking big and I was giving it all of this. right? And it took God to say, get up, pack your stuff, get out of here, right? And it was literally a very clear command, and I was very upset with him. And I'm going to tell you something. I needed to heal my fear, right? Here I am with over 100K followers on multiple platforms, millions and millions and millions and millions of views, but I'm dealing with fear. I'm petrified. I am petrified of one thing or the other. Terribly petrified. So when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. It's not okay for me to be afraid. I need to confront my fears. And with every airport and with every journey and with every move that I've made, I've had to confront fear and overcome it. Because I don't want to bring that into the life of anyone. I don't want to bring it into your life. I don't want to bring fear into the life of the Black Swans. I don't want to bring fear into the life of the people that I care for. I don't want to bring that to my child, but I am. If I don't deal with myself, I am. You know, and I was talking to my coaches yesterday, and I was saying to them, because, some of us have been married, we're talking about our ex-husbands and our ex-relationships. And we were just really admitting to the fact that we were total monsters, but we didn't know it. We didn't understand that we were creating from our wounds an experience for this man that was not nice. But when we left those marriages, we were talking about how he was a monster. Your wounds stop you from seeing yourself. Your wounds will never allow you to see yourself. They will always allow you to see yourself as the victim of the other. And I'm not saying that you aren't. But I'm saying that the way trauma works is we only can tell a beautiful narrative, a clear narrative of what's happening to us. But we cannot tell the narrative of what's happening through us. And only the people around us who get to experience us can give us an idea. But you know what? Most people don't love us enough. Most of our girlfriends don't love us enough to say, baby girl, that's not going to work. That's not going to serve you. Because they just want a friend and they don't want to rock the boat. And men are just going to play you. They're just not that invested. How many guys are you invested in when you know they're losers to really sit them down and say, friend, you're a loser? No one's going to do that. We're just going to say he's a loser and keep on moving. We have to take responsibility for our own healing. We have to say, you know what? I can't bring a fearful soul into a relationship with anyone. I can't bring shame. I spent years overcoming shame. Years and years overcoming shame because I carried so much shame. And guess what? Not even because of the things I did, but the things that were done to me. So many of our clients carry shame. You will never elevate. You will never come into the fullness of your Black Swan essence if you just refuse to address the inner stuff. If you think, I'm just going to swap men like underwear until I find one who will cope. If he is coping with your shame, if he is coping with your guilt, if he is coping with your fear, he's broken too. It's because he's got the same wounds. And let me tell you what happens when two wounded people come together. They just bleed all over each other. So we've got to do that inner work. And for some of us, I have been offering this complimentary call for forever, and so few of us take advantage. Because I know that we have little protocols on the inside of us that tell us we're not worthy, that we don't have enough, we're not enough. It's one step, baby, one step at a time. Just take one step. One step will change your life. I always give the story of Stephanie, who's happy and married and everything. I had one conversation with her, changed her entire life. One conversation. Sometimes it takes one conversation, sometimes it takes a whole journey, sometimes it takes years. But you got to get started because you owe it to yourself, because those men that are up here, that are behind the veil, you'll never meet them. You will never be on the same vibrational frequency. You will never resonate or vibrate at the same frequency as them. And they're going to stay single and lonely because they're waiting to find you. And you're here cradling your little sacred lamb. You're unwilling to address the wounds You're unwilling to address the shame, the guilt, the fear. Let me tell you something. There are four culprits that we're all dealing with. Guilt, shame, fear. I forgot the fourth one. But guilt, shame, and fear, those are the themes. And all of them are rooted in our thinking, in our psychology, in our woundedness, and they're all stored in our heart. And they manifest in self-sabotage patterns. They manifest in self-sabotage mainly, in high anxiety, in anger, in bitterness, in rage. I had a lady come on here and she was just spouting a whole paragraph worth of anger. And one of the other ones was like, what about this post suggests different? She hadn't even read the post. She lives in an energy field of rage. She didn't even need to read the post. She didn't have to see the post. But I sat there and I watched it and I thought to myself, you poor thing. You no longer have ownership over yourself. You are now the slave to your feelings. You are now enslaved to your rage. So much so that you just spouted a whole paragraph of rage. And in her mind, the right man won't mind. She just needs to go get the right man. Because the real problem is she just hasn't been dealing with the right man. If that doesn't sound completely insane to you, I really don't know what will. No man worth his weight in gold is going anywhere near that chick. No self-respecting man is going anywhere near her. Because that kind of explosive, that kind of behavior on social media, that's showing up daily. I know it is. I'm going to do number 4 and leave it there because otherwise we'll be here forever. Let's choose. I want to choose which one of the 4 is really important. Pretending to be cool. Pretending to be being a nice girl is pretending to be cool about disrespect. The first time a man disrespects you, and I don't care if it's in jokes, action, I don't care about the situation and the circumstance. He's inadvertently and subconsciously testing you. Anything of great value withstands the test. He's going to test you by being disrespectful or saying something in jest. And if you think being a nice girl and laughing at it, there's no sense of humor about that. By the time a man becomes wholly and totally abusive, you let him get away with it from the gate. Men are always going to want to check what they can get away with. They're always going to, because guess what? The average guy, the average man, not all, but the average one wants to get out of you everything for as little and as quickly as possible. That is it. That's the game. What can I get out of you? What can I get out of women as quickly and as cheaply as possible? So what I'm going to do is test her. We don't need to lose our minds. We don't need to go off on a man. We don't need to do any of these things. We just refuse to participate. It's not cool. I don't find it funny. There's no insult you're going to give me laced in joke that I'm going to accept. And I'm going to say to you, so are you trying to be funny? That's not cool. I don't feel comfortable with that. And excuse myself. And so many of us think it's cool to sit around and be insulted. We think it's cool to just let him get away with whatever he wants to because he's so hot. I don't care how hot you are. I don't care if you're as hot as the sun. I don't care if my knickers are wet every time I see you. There will be no tolerance, zero tolerance for disrespect. There's nothing cool about allowing yourself to be disrespected. He's lying in your face. You know he's lying. He's lying, point blank period. He's lying. You got evidence that he's lying. You know he's lying, but you act like you don't know he's lying. We don't need to be confrontational. When you're ready to tell me the truth, sir, you know where to find me. Have a good evening. Black swans don't use many words. We don't need to multiply words. Because when you have a lot to say, men don't take you seriously. Keep your words few and your intentions strong. Setting boundaries is key to keeping your value high. A man has to know, not this one, not today, not ever. And that's not because you're out here doing, I don't take no nothing from no nothing. Because you do. You've been taking it. That's why you're so angry. Girls like me, girls like my swans, girls like you who are part of this community, we don't break a sweat. I will not break a sweat for you, friend. And neither should you. When you're ready, sir, to move vertically, to conduct yourself in an upright way, to display some type of integrity, you know where to find me. Until then, I bid you farewell. We don't need to break a sweat. What is this business that we do? You know, a guy friend of mine sent me a reel, because my guy friends do that. They send me all of this relationship stuff because they really want to get into my head. And this girl was going off, you know, and he said, and I've been asked this twice, Chengi, why do girls do this? Why do they do this? Like, why do they go off? And I said, well, it's a form of violence. We're not physically built to punch you in the face when you disrespect us, so we're going to run our mouth. But I had to reassure him that we're going to run our mouth because we don't actually understand our truest power. A lot of women don't understand their real and true power, and that power is in our feminine energy. Feminine energy is energy that pulls away, that pulls back and leans back. Feminine energy will never advance into disrespect. It will never lean into disrespect. It will never lean into foolishness. We graciously pull back, distance ourselves, and create space because that is feminine. It is masculine to go at things. It is feminine to go within yourself. Too many of us are breaking sweat over these losers. But let me tell you something. The men behind the veil, behind the curtain, the one that's worked on themselves, the ones that love themselves, the ones that have something to offer a woman that is worth receiving, okay? When they realize that you're the kind of girl that doesn't break sweat, you get the highest respect. Those men will revere you. Those men are going to think, whew, she's not the one. That's why I got to have her. But some of us lower our value by being cool or by going off and letting a man know what time it is. No. That's for chickens. That's for ducks. How much noise do you see swans making as they swim across the lake? Only ducks and chickens make noise. We don't make noise. We don't break sweat. And we're very clear and respectful in our communication. Don't be bringing that around me because we don't do that. Not here, sir. Because there is nothing you've got to offer me. There's no dinner you're going to buy me. There is no experience you're going to invite me into that is worth my dignity, that will ever allow me to accept any kind of disrespect. There is no gift you are going to buy me. There is no purse you can buy me. There is no experience you can give me. There are no dinners you're going to buy me that will make it acceptable for you to disrespect me. Because I will walk right out of this place. I don't care if I'm broke busted. I don't care if I'm living on a friend's sofa. I would rather be back on that sofa with my dignity and self-worth and self-esteem intact than sit here and have you behave like a clown in my face. Okay? If being high value was easy, every woman would do it. But you're black swans. You're rare and exquisite creatures. If you are rare and you're exquisite, then you pay a price that other women won't pay. To have an uncommon blessing, you have to sow an uncommon seed. If you want to be the best, you have to stay on the court longer than everybody else. You have to show up first and leave last. If you're going to be the kind of woman that truly men perceive as the prize, the kind of woman that men are like, if God would just be so merciful, you have to show up before everybody else. You've got to be in the House of Swans. You got to be on that call. You got to be taking in the hundreds and hundreds of videos that will be in the House of Swans, the training, the support. You have to show up for the masterclasses I'll be doing in the House of Swans. You've got to show up for yourself, for the community. You've got to be the first one in, the last one out. You got to be that girl. And if you can't afford to be in the House of Swans, your behind better be on YouTube watching all 1,000 videos. First one in and first one out. Last one out. Because some of us have a lot of leveling up to do. I was saying to one of my coaches, I was saying to them, look, there's some areas where my coaches and I still need to develop and grow, not necessarily in the realms of relationship, but in certain areas of our private lives. And I remember God challenging me and saying, listen, if we're going to overcome in this area of your life, you're just going to have to be very intentional and deliberate. Be the first one in, the last one out. You've got to commit yourself to becoming that which you want to get from me in this area of your life. In Chengi, you are casual. You are casual about this. And as a result of your being casual, I can't give you what I want to give you because you can't hold it. You don't have the mindset. So if you want to be the woman that a man walks in with his chest high, and you can tell that this man feels like he just won the lottery, and he treats you like the queen that you are. He treats you like a princess. He rolls out the red carpet. You can't be the lazy one that lives off the reels on the Black Swan Relationship Academy. You can't be on the periphery flirting with the Black Swan Relationship Academy. You've got to be in. You better get yourself in the inner circle. You better get yourself in the inner circle. You better get yourself in the House of Swans, okay? Because we fly out in 2025, okay? Okay? And be that girl. Choose you. And I'm going to be recommending you to my male clients. I'm going to be recommending you to the high value men that come my way. Because I'm not going to know who you are if you're out here in the ether. Okay, I'm gonna know who you are when you're inside the walls. And it's so funny because I meet great guys all the time, and I was saying to Coach Yvonne, oh, who do we know who would be good for him? And we were like racking our brains, and I was like, oh, that's because we don't have the community yet, because half the time I'm hearing from you, I'm seeing you, and I can recommend you. I can't recommend you if I don't know who you are. If all you are is the girl in my comments or in my DMs, I need you to really think about it, get on the waiting list, and all you have to do is comment Swan on any of the posts. Get on the waiting list, start to save your pennies if you need to. If you don't need to, just keep an eye out on the newsletters, because when we launch House of Swans, well, it's going to be on, and I'm going to be in the House of Swans a lot, giving you a lot of love, answering a lot of your questions. So I'm going to leave it there for today, and I'm going to give us about 20 minutes to ask questions before I go. Let's see what we have. Do we have any questions? I don't know why on earth we have that. Somebody needs to tell me how to get rid of that function on my phone. Really hate it. Gets on my nerves. This was so timely. Thank you. Are you saying that gaining his respect is by elevating yourself first? That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes, well done. A woman a man can shag, sleep with, easy to find. A woman a man can respect for who she is, harder, way harder. I will save this live for you. The women that deal with the disrespect are there for different reasons, i.e. money. Indeed, but I think that a lot of women take disrespect because they feel that's the only way they can get love. I will say this. Swans glide, honey. Oh, yes, we do. We do. We do. We don't break a sweat. Your walk-away game as a black swan just has to be strong as your comeback game. Yes, Coach Nick. What? Hey, your walk-away and your comeback has to be strong because if you're a black swan, that's what's up. Yes, we fly in 2025. We do indeed, Penny Beauty Penny. This was God sent, Cheryl says. Thank you. What tools do we require to be in touch with our feminine energy, especially when you come from a house of strong women? Ooh, honey, I understand that. I come from a house of strong women. I actually come from a tribe of very strong women. I remember saying to myself, why am I so go-getter? You know, like, why am I so driven? Like, where does this come from? I felt like it comes from somewhere deep and ancient. And I was talking to a sister, one of my sisters, who keeps me, like, you know, connected to my culture. And she was explaining to me that the particular tribe of women that I come from were women that went to war. Because I'm African, by the way, for those of you who don't know. I'm Zimbabwean, to be specific. And she was explaining to me that women from my tribe, we are very driven, but we were also there's a specific tribe that my lineage comes from, my ancestors come from, that go to war. So the men would strap up to go to war, and so would the women. Like, would put shield and we're good to go, okay? And I was like, it explains everything. The blood of my ancestors continues to speak, right? So you can imagine I come from a family of strong women. I come from heavy hitters. The women in my life, my sisters, my aunts, we don't play. These women are gangster when it comes to business, and glamorous, beautiful, smart, like 10 out of 10 in every area of life. So, you know how hard it was for me to take the femininity journey, okay? That was a very hard journey. Okay. So, and I thank God that it was hard. I thank God that that's where I came from to come into my feminine energy. Because if I was just raised in a feminine home and I was feminine, I wouldn't be able to take you through the journey. Okay. Same here. She says, I'm Afghan and African. I always have attracted strong men. That's amazing. Hi, neighbor, South Africa, Zulu. This is so accurate. Right. We're gangsters, okay? I've seen these passport bros going to Africa for feminine women. I'm like, what, you crazy? Feminine women in Africa? You know, maybe certain parts of Africa, but we are out here running things, okay? But it was a very difficult journey, and actually, believe it or not, I'm actually writing my book on the powerful feminine woman. And it's really my personal journey as well as the journey of my clients. And it's really to take a woman from her most power, to maintain your power. Because, you know, when you love power, when you're used to power, it's very difficult to relinquish it. But in this book, I'm teaching you how to embody your feminine without losing your power, but shifting your gears so that you are really tuning into the power of the feminine and what that actually looks like. But in the short term, you have the dark feminine energy and the Feminine Energy Masterclass to get started, so we can start to reframe your thinking about femininity. And you can get that for 60% off, I believe, still, because I think for this week it's Cyber Week, so you can get that for 60% off on the website today. And I think it's even a bundle, so if you go to the website today at my shop and download the Feminine Mastery Masterclass and the Dark Feminine Masterclass, both of those masterclasses are going to help you understand and really get into your feminine, your light and dark feminine energy. And then secondly, I would also get the high value strategies. I would get that, but I would also get how to talk to men so they listen. So if you find that you have a hard time communicating with men in such a way that they hear you as the feminine, if you feel like they don't hear you as the feminine, or you tend to knock heads with them, then it's because you don't know how to speak from your feminine to the masculine. And I've created that course, How to Speak to Men So That They Listen, is a really good course. So until we start the House of Swans, where I'm going to be taking you on a journey to uncovering and discovering your feminine energy, because we're not trying to become feminine, we're trying to reveal femininity, we're trying to embody. You're already a feminine woman. So, and it's so powerful to get in touch with your superpower, okay? And if you're a strong woman already, as in you are very comfortable in your masculine, then you're going to have that double whammy where you can go into your masculine and feminine quite naturally and become a powerhouse, okay? So it's really important that you start with those courses. And when my book is out, pray for me. I welcome your prayers. Pray for me, okay? Because writing a book has always been, it's something that I enjoy, but it's very taxing because writing a book is one of the most challenging things that any of us can do, especially if it's something that means a lot to us. So I'm praying that I finally get the last chapters done and that we will have it for 2025. But that book is really about taking the journey from feminine to masculine, because it has been pending for a few years. I hope that helped you, my darling. It's easier to be masculine, however. Yes, because we're trained to be masculine. We're trained to be masculine. Thank you for all the work you do, Miss Chengi and team. Thank you. I'll admit that I'm one of those who's shy to book the complimentary call. I'm courting the man I'm with because of your videos. Don't be shy, boo-boo. We're here for you. I am very funny about who works with me. And I am very prayerful about the people that I let around me. Even in business, I'm very slow to move. I don't let people in easily because I'm the way my heart is for people is that I never want to be in a situation where we compromise our heart for you. So my coaches are exactly the same. They will take the best care of you and make you feel at home. You will get the truth and you're going to get it neat and clean, but always from the place of love. Good. You are so welcome. Just another day. It is my pleasure to serve you. Thank you, Kalendula. I have learned that success is if it transforms. I think I was listening to Pastor Stephanie Ike, and she said something that really resonated with my heart about an author who went to her, can you pray that people will buy my book? And she said, well, that my book will be successful. And she said to her, success is when your book transforms lives. And I thought that really resonated with me, because everything I have ever done in this world since I answered the call to be in this space with you, I've always measured success by the transformation that people get, not by how many people buy it. I'm never interested in the vanity matrices, because I'm not here to be a star. I'm not here to be a celebrity. I'm not here to have everybody remember my name. I'm here to establish a new era. I'm here to breed a new breed of woman. I am here to do what our ancestors failed to do. I am here to set the platform for the next generation. I'm here to build a legacy. Legacies are not built by being a celebrity, by pursuing fame. So I don't care if 1 million people buy my book, and I don't care if 1,000 people buy my book, but I care that whoever does buy it, their life is transformed. So much so that their generation is transformed, and that my legacy will go on from generation to generation. So it's just a different lens of how I perceive success, and we all have to define success for ourselves. So for everyone who is transformed, has a better relationship, has a better life, who heals their marriage, I am very successful. And by that measure, and that measure alone, do I judge myself as a success. And so when the book comes out, I will be successful when I'm able to help one woman, 2, 3, whatever, transition, find healing, and that woman can take that legacy, teach it to their children, and teach it to their grandchildren. Because when I'm in heaven with God, I'll be like, I did that, okay? Because it might not be me who changes culture. It might be that third generation of that mother who read that book, changed her life, taught her daughters different, taught her sons different. And that third generation child becomes the epitome of the black swan. And even if my name is forgotten, I know that I will look up from heaven and I'll be like, your life meant something. Look what happened. So I definitely look at things very differently, and I receive your blessing, and I hope that it will be a success by that measure. It would be amazing to learn how to ask without asking, and inspire to do things, how to express needs, desires in a way that isn't demanding. A lot of women need that tool and that ability. Here's what I'm going to say to you. If you show up in the world as a woman that, I'm trying to find the expression because somebody said it. One of my colleagues said it. I think it was Kit who said it. If you show up as a woman who brings so much value, if after I've been with you, anyone has been with you, a man's been with you, they feel like, I love that, more of that. What happens is people begin to listen out for your needs. He will begin to listen out for your needs. It won't take long before he is preemptive of your needs because of how you make him feel when he's with you. And the thing is, before we can even ask or even get to asking for our needs to be met, we don't even show up on that level. We're not a pleasure. Men walk away not knowing if we even like them or if we even think well of them, or they walk away confused from encounters with us because we were so guarded, we were so guarded, we were so whatever. So it starts with the experience that a woman, I know I never have to pay the bill at the end of a date. Why? Not because I'm entitled, but because I know I'm a great date. Okay? I know how to show up on a date in such a way that by the time the date is over, you just feel so good about yourself. Okay? And this is the same thing with my girlfriends. My girlfriends know if they're in my company, by the time they leave, they feel better. I'm the sort of person who will, because I work at it, I've learned how to do it. It's also part of my nature, but I've learned how to do it. When you show up in the world as an asset, people want to be a blessing to you. People want to give you things. They want to be there for you. They want to support you. And I want that to be the Black Swan culture. So before I ask for anything, do I give? Do I create an atmosphere where you feel valued for who you are? And then I can say things like, I'd love to do that, but right now I can't afford it. I'm hardly making my rent payments. Then a man will hear that and say, okay, well, I don't want her struggling to make her rent payments. Can I help you with that? But if you don't bring any of that, and you're like, my rent needs paying, and can you help me? What kind of man are you that you don't pay my rent? If you're not going to be paying my rent, what kind of man is getting broke, or whatever we do? That's the stuff that makes men very angry with us. That's the stuff that makes men not want to give, because the atmosphere you provide is so crappy, and then the demands are so high. And that's also the stuff that makes men just want to put you in the shag her and in the hit and quit category. We have to understand that the feminine is like a fragrance. The feminine woman, the experience it provides is like when you've been in a room and somebody walks into the room and they're wearing the most beautiful fragrance, and it's light and it's beautiful and it's warm and it's just changes the atmosphere. And you almost know, that's Jane. She's come because I can smell her. But it's not pungent and it's not invasive. Feminine energy is the aura that you spray into every atmosphere, into every room, into every encounter that leaves people doing, I love it when she walks in. I love it when she's around me. I love how I feel about myself when this person is around. And that feminine energy is not just to the man we're dating. It's not just in a romantic setup. Feminine energy is not for men, it's for the woman herself. It's for her to live in her expansiveness and to share herself with the world in such a way that being around her is just so lovely. And we do that by releasing the trauma. We do that by releasing the wounds. We do that by releasing the ignorant ways of thinking, by questioning some of the ways that we think, by unraveling some of our entitlement. And when we're able to open our hearts and navigate through the world with a heart, because the feminine navigates her world through her heart. And people have told you that your heart makes you weak. No, you have to guard your heart, but your heart, from it flow the issues of life. Your heart is your navigating system. Your heart will never lie to you. Your heart will never tell you somebody loves you when they don't. Your heart will never lie to you. Your heart will never lie to you about what your heart wants. The heart will always tell you the truth. It will always tell you, I want that. I want that joy. I want that peace. I want that man. I want that life. But your mind will reason you out or into things. And when you're in your mind, you're in your masculine. But when you're in your heart, you're in your feminine. And when you allow your heart to relate to people and your heart to touch other people's hearts, getting people to give you things, I have never had a hard time people giving me things. Sometimes I have to say to my coaches, you don't have to do that. They just want to give me things. They want to give me, they just want to give me their time. People want to give me things. People want to give me, because guess what? I bring so much love and warmth and acceptance and time. And you can't be around me and not feel wrapped up in my wings. Can you be her? Can you be her for yourself? And then can you be her for everyone without depleting yourself? Yes, you can. You've got to sow into your feminine. You've got to be in your body. You've got to get rid of the blocks on the inside of you that stop you from being your divine feminine self. So we struggle with men giving because we're not in our feminine. Men, they can't help it. I'm telling you, if you are in your feminine, men can't help it. It's almost like how they can't help getting an erection when they like a woman. It's this impulse that they have to give to respond to the feminine woman. They just can't help it. They want to give you things. They want to give you things. They want to take you places. They want to fix things in your life. They want to make your life better. They want to invest in you. They want you to be happy. But you have to bring that. And that's what the modern woman in her masculine energy can't bring. What the modern woman in her masculine energy brings is competition. I'm a better man. I can do better. I'm smarter. I'm more capable. I'm more competent. And that's what we're bringing. And if he doesn't like it, he's insecure. If he doesn't like it, he's insecure, or he's just a loser. No, baby. If you're bringing masculine, he's going to compete with masculine. He's not going to cherish masculine. He's not going to cover the masculine. Because men together, when they're in their masculine, they're either going to fight or get on and respect each other. But there isn't any nurturing and comforting and cherishing that's happening. Okay? So when we master, when we allow ourselves, and when I say this, I say this knowing that I'm asking you to climb a mountain, because we have to realize that our generation has been programmed to be masculine. From the day we could read, from the moment we entered the system, we were being pegged to be like boys, better than boys, compete with boys. Boys were the standard, and we had to be the better boys. And then our families, and then society, and then feminism got in there. And we are asking, when I talk about becoming the feminine woman, this is not an overnight job. This is a process. This is a journey that you take, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it, because you stop begging for things. You stop tugging on men's reluctance. You stop having to fight men to be a gentleman. I don't care whether a man is from the streets or I went to Cleveland, Ohio, and I was, we were all kind of getting into this. It was a wedding, and they had organized transportation, and we're all kind of getting in, and everybody was kind of, beautiful women dressed to the nines. and they're fighting their way into the van, pushing themselves, and there's all this kind of crazy behavior going on. And obviously I'm kind of waiting and thinking maybe I should just get an Uber and be done with it. But I sort of waited patiently because I'm in my feminine, and that's patient, okay? And I'm not pushing, I'm not shoving, I'm not doing any of these things because, darling, too fabulous. And the guy who was driving the thing could observe immediately the difference between the masculine woman and the feminine woman. And he came round, and I know that this guy does not do this for everyone. You can tell this guy's from the streets and he's just trying to make a buck. He's not trying to be anybody's gentleman. But he came over to me, opened the front door right next to him, opened it, held my hand, and helped me up to my seat, made sure I was okay, put my dress in beautifully, made sure my seatbelt was on, closed the door, and then went to the back of the bus and rammed the door closed for all the other women. Then he went round and then he drove us there. And when we were getting out, everybody opened the door. Okay. I waited for him. He came round to my door. He opened the door for everyone. They just had, they filed out. He opened my door, held my hand, made sure I got down nicely and comfortably, made sure I was okay. I was on the pavement okay. And he said, have a good day. Doesn't matter. When you are in your feminine, you compel men to become gentlemen. You compel them to want to take care of. It's like an instinct. They just want to take care of you. I didn't sit there and say, well, I'm a feminine woman and I'm not gonna. I wasn't trying to be funny, but I understand that I've got to a point where I embody my femininity, and I understand what that feels like in my body. So I'm not even trying to remember what it is. I know what it feels like when I'm in my feminine, and everywhere I go, this happens all the time. All the time. I was on the belt the other day trying to get my suitcase off, and this man just rushes and it just helps me get my suitcase off. I didn't tell him I couldn't do it. I didn't tell him. But there's an energy where we don't have to beg. And if we can bring more women into the Black Swan Nation, in the Black Swan universe, into the House of Swans, and teach, and I can have your attention, okay? If you would give me your attention, your really solid attention, invest in yourself and be in the House of Swans and just let me help you. I can help you because I've been that other girl. I was that other girl and I'm now this girl. And I did it in 10 years. We can shorten that time for you. Okay, we can make that 3 months, 6 months, okay? I'm not saying it won't be painful, but I'm saying that when we don't sit in our feminine, we miss out on the glory. You haven't even met a man until you're in your feminine. You haven't met him. A lot of the men that we think we have met, we have not yet met them. Because those men are defending themselves. They are in competition with our masculine. When you show up in your feminine, even the idiot that everybody knows is an idiot, he will behave differently around you without you having to use your mouth and to speak. So I promise to be here for you. I promise to show up for you. I promise to create courses and to create environments and communities where everything that I have learned, I'm learning, which is a lot, I can make available to you. If you will make me a promise that you will make yourself available to it. Because it's a two-way street, right? I want 1 billion women to change the game for women forever. And I truly believe that when I do this for women, I'm inadvertently doing it for men. Because I want my son to marry a feminine woman, because I know that he will have an amazing wife. So the more mothers of his future wife that I can help, it's a win-win. Men win when women are in their feminine. Women win when they're in their feminine. And there's nothing I've not been able to achieve in life, in love, in finances. There's nothing I have not been able to achieve as a feminine woman. What I can say is I've achieved it with a lot less stress, a lot less pain, a lot less fatigue. Since I became a feminine woman, you can be a feminine CEO, you can be a feminine employee. I help women in corporate do amazing things. I've written it in my book. it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Once you tap into your feminine, you have the power to do things you never thought was possible. So I'm really excited, and unfortunately I have to leave because I literally have a meeting in 1 second. If you have more questions, I'm so sorry I didn't get around to all of your questions, but if you do, wait until my next live next week Wednesday or ask the question in the comments when I save this video. I love you to bits and pieces. Take care of you. Love you lots. Bye bye.